What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to shout out and give a salute to the entire Scrapbook Boxing family. Hopefully you brought it in with a bang. I spent a majority of time of my New Year's celebration preparing for the new show that's coming out, Ringside Historian, with the brother Curtis Anderson, and Retro Boxing and Documentaries. Right now, I want to take a look at a fighter by the name of Battling Levinsky. Fascinating fighter. I want to discuss him with you right here on the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. Now, Barney Lebowitz, his name was Barney Williams. He was born June 10th, 1891 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and he died February 12th, 1949 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He stood 5'11" and weighed 145 to 195 pounds. He was managed by Fred Douglas and Jack Heenan. He had a record of 70-20-15 with 30 knockouts, and he had astonishing 179 no-decision bouts. 2 exhibitions, total bouts, 286 official professional bouts. Fascinating. Began boxing in 1906 under the name Barney Williams and changed his fighting name to Battling Levinsky in 1913. I want to go through his career with you. He a power puncher? No. Master boxer? Yes. Phenomenal master boxer. He had the left jab. He was able to move from side to side. He was able to spin you around and parry punches. Dynamite master boxer. But he didn't have the power, and that's the reason why he was able to survive 286 fights, because he was able to just box his way around circles, with all his opponents. Same thing like Maxie Rosenblum. He fought fighters such as Zulu Kid, Alfred Soldier Kearns, fascinating fighters. Harry Greb. Harry Greb was champion from 1923 to 1916. To 1926. He took the title away from Johnny Wilson, and he lost his title to Tiger Flowers. He had over 304 bouts. Fascinating fighter. He was entered in the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series, and he was also entered in the Hall of Fame in 1955. He would fight George Carpentier. George Carpentier was a light heavyweight champion. He lost his title to Balinsky. He would fight Karl Morris, very good heavyweight. Gene Tunney. Gene Tunney took the title away from Jack Dempsey in 1926 in Soldier Field. And in 1927, he would have the famous long count where he would be dropped. And a referee, Dave Barry, would count a little slow. And, they would feel as though Gene Tunney didn't get up in time, which the bottom line is if he's out, he's out. But he wasn't out. He got up, he danced his way around, circles around Jack Dempsey, and he finished the fight. So I just want to go through his career briefly. But before I want to do that, I want to let you know about some of the great fighters he fought. He fought Jack Dillon. He was a light heavyweight champion in the world. Ed Gumbo Smith, fascinating fighter. Horace Soldier Kearns and Soldier Jones, 2 different fighters. George Kid Ash, Al Reach, Jim Coffey, Homer Smith, Tom Cower, K.O. Bill Brennan. Battling Levinsky was inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame in 1966. And the International Hall of Fame in 2000 was Battling Levinsky. So let's take a look at his career. Now, Battling Levinsky was born Barney Lebowitz on June 10th, 1891 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. His nationality was Jewish American, and he weighed 175 pounds and stood 5'11 inches. He was managed by Jack Holland. Levinsky started fighting in 1906 using the name of Barney Williams, which he kept until 1913. He retired in 1929. He challenged Jack Dillon for the light heavyweight championship on April 25th, 1916. He lost 15-round decision in Kansas City, Missouri, but defeated Dillon for a title bout the same year on October 24th at Boston, Massachusetts in 12 rounds. Now, Levinsky lost the crown to George Carpentier on 4-round knockout on October 12, 1920 at Jersey City, New Jersey. On January 13, 1922, he challenged Gene Tunney for the vacant American Light Heavyweight Championship. Now, see, Gene Tunney was the ABF Light Heavyweight Champion, which he switched back and forth with Harry Greb. This was title was in New York City, New York. He lost a 12-round decision. Levinsky died on February 12, 1949 at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, in 1910, Battling Levinsky had knockouts as follows. Marty Andrews in 5 rounds. Jack Krause in 5 rounds. Fighting Dick in 4 rounds. Matt Ryan in 6 rounds. Joe Sandy in 2 rounds and Joe O'Neill in 4 rounds. Johnny Dugan in 6 rounds. Jack Ferry in 1 round. He defeated Patty Burns in 6 rounds and had a no decision with Patty Burns in 6 rounds. Leo Diamond 6 rounds. Reddy Hogan in 6 rounds. Jim Dolan in 6 rounds and Kid Shelby in 9 rounds. Patty Burns in 6 rounds. And I just want to continue with 1911, knocking out fighters such as Jack Doyle in 6 rounds. Jeff Clark. Jeff Clark was a phenomenal African-American fighter, fought them all. And he was able to defeat Jeff Clark in 10 rounds, so that was a good victory. He fought Jack Clark again in 15 rounds. Jeff Clark went the distance with battling Levinsky. Goes to show you the ability of Jeff Clark. He had a no decision with Jack Fitzgerald, 6 rounds. Johnny Howard, 6 rounds. Mike Glover in 6 rounds. Leo Florian Hook in 6 rounds. Fought him again. 6-round victory for battling Levinsky. Mike Clover, 6 rounds. Leo Florian Hook again in 6 rounds. Fought Leo Florian Hook again. So he fought Leo Florian Hook, from what I see here, 5 times in 1911. Fascinating. Jack Dillon, 6 rounds, and he would lose to Leo Florian Hook in 12 rounds. 1912, January 3rd, he would face Joe Grimm. Joe Grimm was a dirty fighter, but he was in there with them all. So he knew the tricks of the trade. Fought him in Philadelphia and had a no decision in 6 rounds with him. January 10th, George Ash, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, no decision in 6 rounds. May 24th, he would face Dick Gilbert, Jacksonville, defeat him in 15 rounds. June 7th, Dick Gilbert, again, Jacksonville, defeat him in 15 rounds. He fought Dick Gilbert, as you can see here, 3 times. July 19th, Harry Waltz, Jacksonville, no decision in 15 rounds. Just to go back up again with Dick Gilbert in Jacksonville, you can see here he defeated him in 20 rounds. So he defeated him 15 rounds May 24th, 15 rounds June 7th, and 20 rounds June 14th. Now this is all the first 3 fights. Fascinating. Look at 1913. Look at the amount of fights that he fought. Look at the fighters in which he fought. Jack Twin Sullivan, Buffalo. No decision in 10 rounds. Fought him July 3rd, 1913. 1 round Davis, March 8th. No decision in 10 rounds, 1913. Jack Dillon, April 18th. Rochester, New York. No decision in 10 rounds. Eddie McCordy. September 10th, 1913, New York. No decision in 6 rounds. December 9th, Jim Flynn. That's fireman Jim Flynn. He knocked out Jack Dempsey in 1 round. New York. No decision in 10 rounds. Now, fireman Jim Flynn was a dirty fighter as well. He used to headbutt Jack Dempsey several times. They fought twice. And the second fight, the marshal actually just jumped in and disqualified fireman Jim Flynn. Fireman Jim Flynn would also fight Sam Langford. Fought him a few times. Langford knocked him out. So Jim Flynn was in there with them all. December 22nd, Jim Coffey, New York. No decision in 10 rounds. December 25th, Jack Driscoll, Brooklyn, New York. No decision in 10 rounds. 1914, look at the schedule. This is phenomenal here. I cannot possibly fit this in my camera. He fought a few times a week. As you can see here, January 1st, Tom Daly, New York, knocked him out in 2 rounds. January 3rd, Jim Coffey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, no decision in 6 rounds. January 5th, Bob McAllister, good fighter, New York, no decision in 10 rounds. January 13th, Dan Porky Flynn, New York, no decision in 10 rounds. January 19th, Jack Connors, New York, no decision in 10 rounds. January 20th, Jack Keating, Bridgeport, Connecticut, no decision in 10 rounds. January 27th, he would fight Soldier Kearns in New York. This is all in January. This is crazy. New York. No decision in 6 rounds. He fought him in Philadelphia. I'm just skimming through here. Look at all of the fights he had in March. He would fight Jim Coffey, New York, no decision in 10 rounds. Tim O'Neill, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, no decision in 6 rounds. Sailor Fitz, New York, no decision in 10 rounds. Now, it doesn't matter the caliber of the fighter. Look how many times he was in there. Bob Mohart, Dynamite fighter, March 23rd. Milwaukee, no decision in 10 rounds. So in March, he fought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in March. This is crazy. He's fighting heavyweights. Jack Dillon, April 14th. He lost to him in 12 rounds. May 19th, he would face Carl Lewis in Brooklyn, New York. No decision in 10 rounds. Porky Flynn again. July 21st, Brooklyn. No decision in 10 rounds. September 18th, 1 round Davis, Buffalo, New York. No decision in 10 rounds. November 15th, Frank Mantell, Providence, Rhode Island. 12-round draw. Now, Frank Mantell would fight for the heavyweight championship. He would be in that tournament trying to scramble his way through the light heavyweight championship. This is crazy. Zulu Kid, no decision in 10 rounds. This is all 1 year. Tom McCarthy, Brooklyn, New York, no decision in 10 rounds. Porky Flynn, December 25th, 1914, Brooklyn, New York, no decision in 10 rounds. Look at the schedule in 1915. Now, we already went over 1914. Can't fit it in the screen. Look at 1915. Look who he starts with. 1915, January 1st, Gumbo Smith, Waterbury, Connecticut. 12-round draw. January 6th, Jack Keating, New York, no decision in 10. He would lose to Gumbo Smith January 27th in New Orleans, 20 rounds. Look how many rounds he's going. George Ash, Philadelphia, no decision in 6. Bill Ketchel, New York, no decision in 10. Jack Halen, New York, no decision in 10. See, if you were around at that time or studied your history, you'll realize the quality of fighters that he is fighting. I mean, it just is what it is. April 3rd, Zulu Kid, New York, no decision in 10. May 14th, Jack Collins, New York, no decision in 10. Porky Flynn twice. May 31st and July 9th. Once in Brooklyn, one in Far Rockaway, Queens. No decision in 10 both times. And like I said, the majority of the times when you see no decision fights, if the fighter didn't knock out the other fighter within a certain amount of rounds, it would be an automatic no decision. That's just the way it was at that time, for various reasons. September 28th, Soldier Kearns, Brooklyn, New York, no decision in 10 rounds. Sandy Ferguson, good fighter. September 24th, Boston. He would defeat him in 12 rounds. He would fight Porky Flynn and Tom McCarthy and Clay Turner and Jack Rowland, all good fighters. 2 no decisions in 10 rounds and 1 12-round victory and 1 10-round victory. Fascinating. This is crazy. Look at 1916. January 1st, Tom McMahon, Scranton, Pennsylvania, no decision in 10 rounds. Tom Carler, January 11th, Boston, Massachusetts. He would defeat him in 12 rounds. Al Reach, Boston, defeat him in 12 rounds. Jack Dillon, Brooklyn, New York, no decision in 10 rounds, February 8th, 1916. He would fight Bob Carroll, another good fighter. Jim Savage, Jack Dillon. He would lose to Jack Dillon in Kansas City on April 25th, 1916 for the light heavyweight championship, so he loses opportunity. But May 15th, Gumbo Smith, Philadelphia, no decision in 6 rounds. May 30th, Porky Flynn, 8-round draw. Jim Barry, Syracuse, New York, no decision in 10 rounds. That fight would take place June 30th, 1916. K.O. Brown, East Chicago, no decision in 10 rounds. That fight took place September 4th. Of 1916. Jack Dillon battling Bradley, Gus Chrissy, Gumbo Smith, Billy Miss, fascinating middleweight, Jack Dillon, Boston, would defeat him in 12 rounds. Billy Missed again, Carl Morris. Oh, this is unbelievable. Levinsky claimed light heavyweight championship as a result of a victory. Men did not make weight, but were considered under stipulated 175 pounds. (1917). Look at the amount of fights. January 1st, Gumbo Smith, Brooklyn, New York, no decision in 10 rounds. January 12th, Jim Smith, New York, no decision in 10 rounds. January 17th, Bob Mohar, fascinating fighter, Youngstown, Ohio, no decision in 12 rounds. February 27th, Billy Miss, St. Paul, no decision in 10 rounds. Jack Moran, St. Louis, defeat him in 12 rounds. Tommy Gibbons, March 23rd, St. Paul, Minnesota, excuse me. No decision in 10 rounds. As I always tell you before, Tom Gibbons was the brother of Mike Gibbons. Two fascinating fighters. Tom Gibbons had an opportunity to face Jack Dempsey. Came up short. That was Shelby, Montana. May 16th. Leo Florian Hook, New York. Pennsylvania. They're saying York, Pennsylvania. No decision in 6 rounds. So I'm just skimming through here. Bill Brennan fought him twice. October 2nd, October 23rd. Draw and a loss. 12 rounds. Zulu Kid, Montreal, Canada. October 31st, 1917. No decision in 10 rounds. Bill Brennan again. Boston, defeated him in 12 rounds. 1918. Bill Brennan, Boston. 12-round draw. Jim Coffey, New York City. No decision in 6 rounds. That would be May 24th, 1918. August 6, 1918, it would face middleweight Harry Greb, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. No decision in 6 rounds. As I told you once before, Harry Greb would go up and down from middleweight to light heavyweight. He was actually a light heavyweight. And he would actually, move his body down to middleweight. But he had the strength of a light heavyweight. August 15th, Billy Misk, Brooklyn, New York. Exhibition, 4 rounds. Now, Harry Greb would take the title away from Gene Tunney, the heavyweight championship, the ABF heavyweight champion, light heavyweight championship, the light heavyweight championship he would take from Harry Greb. So it goes to show you the power that he had for him to be able to do that with Harry Greb. November 6th, Jack Dempsey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He would be knocked out by Jack Dempsey in 6 rounds. Fought Clay Turner. He fought them all. 1919. He wasn't afraid to get in there with these fighters. That's the point of the videos that I'm doing here. February 17th, Harry Greb, Buffalo, New York. No decision in 10 rounds. And he's doing rounds here. April 28th, Harry Greb. Jump right back in there with Harry Greb. No decision in 12 rounds. Billy Miss, another outstanding fighter. July 3rd, Toledo, Ohio. No decision in 12 rounds. Get back in there with Harry Greb again. July 14th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. No decision in 6 rounds. Clay Turner, August 11th, 1919. I wish you could see a fight film with Clay Turner. Fascinating fighter. Jersey City, no decision in 8 rounds. Get back in there with Harry Greb again. September 3rd, Wheeling, Virginia. No decision in 10 rounds. This is fascinating. This is crazy right here. 1920, January 1st, Wild Bert Kenny, Toronto, Canada. Defeat him in 8 rounds. Clay Turner. Chuck Wiggins, good fighter. 12-round draw. October 12th, George Carpentier, Jersey City. He would be knocked out by George Carpentier in 4 rounds. Lost the world champion, light heavyweight championship of the world. It's George Carpentier. And like I said, George Carpentier would eventually lose the title of Battling Siki. This man right here, Baron Levinsky, you already know he's in my Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series, but this is a fascinating fighter. This is a prime example of what fighters used to do back then. These are fighters. There was no cherry picking. You can see here, he was in the ring with Harry Greb like 5 times in 1 year, along with Billy Misk. I mean, this is just a dynamite fighter. So salute to Baron Levinsky. This is Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. All great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Salute to my subscribers. Salute to Baron Levinsky. He was a dynamite fighter, a Hall of Famer. He did what was needed to do. He was a Hall of Famer in 1966. And you got to take your hat off to fighters like this. You just have to. You can't be biased. You have to be honest and say this is what fighting is all about. He did his career. He did his thing. You can look back in history and see the accomplishments that he made. And that's what it's all about. Salute to my subscribers. Peace.